Oh, mic's still on.
A partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is
Yeah.
being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro?
Yeah, you're
It's
just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not
join.
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
That just we are the only society on Earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, which I know many, they're irrelevant.
Good morning, Misfits. And can you see me? Okay, yeah, we're good. Oh, jeez. I don't know why, but my I usually look at the Rumble and it's frozen. It's frozen on Jeremy's face. It's just frozen right on Jeremy's face. I can't see the live feed, but I just checked on my phone and I see my beautiful face. Not that Jeremy's not beautiful. Good morning, Misfits. It is Maha Monday. How's everybody doing in the chat? Let's say hi to everybody real quick. Where are you? Right there. There you are. Hello, hello, hello. Funmon, I saw in there. Who else? Great guy Gary P. You're out. UMD USMC 77. Bumba C. Michaels. Miss Mocha Powered. How's everybody doing today? You know, it is Maha Monday, but it feels very Monday-y, right? Does anybody else feel that today? Is it just in Texas? It's like it's muggy out. I just woke up feeling ridiculously tired. I don't know. I just feel, it feels like Monday. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of days feel like Monday to me, but today's feeling extra Monday. Anyway, good morning. Oh, shoot. You know what? I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Where's my border? Give me my border, first of all. Where did it go? Where did it go? There we go. Okay. We got that. It is technical difficulties Monday. Somebody in the chat caught it. I'm feeling very slow. I'm feeling very slow right now. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Found it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, you know, some days you have it, some days you don't. But anyway, today it's Maha Monday, and the theme of the day is no fatties. No fatties. We're gonna cover this this rumor / story from Pete Hegseth saying there will be no fatties allowed at the America 250 celebration. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm all for that. I think that that's the proper way to deal with you know, like big events where it's like, oh. You want to show up in uniform and show our enemies that, you know, you've been our military has just been munching down on barbecue? No. It's a perfectly reasonable request to say anybody who's going to be on camera at the America 250 celebration in a military outfit should probably not be fat. But then you have the you know, the TDS retards going like, "Ooh, Trump's fat." Trump's the commander-in-chief. It's a civilian position. He's not an active duty service member. Knock it off, right? And by the way, Trump, he's like 78. Looks great for 78. If you're just a little bit puffy, but you still look like you're in your 60s, good for him. Anyway, so if you've never seen the Daily Breakdown before, here's what we do. Obviously, we have the theme of the day, right? Today's Maha Monday, but we also have, if I can, geez, more coffee. We also have the Daily Breakdown, which is me reading you the news. And by news, I mean news. I go on the internet, I type in the word news, and we break it down, hence the Daily Breakdown. So, the top stories for today, that's a lot of BBC. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get your mind out of the gutter, okay? That's British Beer Company. Or, shit, what does BBC stand for? British Broadcasting Company? Yeah, I like British Beer Company better. It's a decent restaurant. We used to go there all the time. All right, but let's see. Top story from the BBC. Cancel it. Trump says after artists drop out of US Freedom 250 Festival. You know, Matt Walsh had some choice words for this, and Matt Walsh often has just awful takes about so many different things. But let's go and find that. This wasn't planned, but I'm going to find it. I might have already passed it. Matt Walsh said something like, "We don't need to see a Trump speech. The Trump speech is not what America 250." Here we go. I think I just saw it. Yeah, here we go. You know, Matt is just, I don't know what, is Matt being contrarian? Like, I don't know if Matt's being contrarian or if he really just has awful takes. He has some very good takes, but he has a lot of awful takes where it's like, if you're just being contrarian for contrarian's sake and you're just trying to start conversations and arguments so that you can gain views and clicks, that's one thing. I'm not saying that's what he's doing. I'm saying a lot of people do that, and it looks a lot like what Matt's doing, right? But here, it's like, I couldn't imagine a better way to celebrate America's 250 than a Trump rally, but apparently gay guy Matt has better ideas. You can't imagine, now here's Matt. You can't imagine a better way to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday listening to Trump give a speech for the 10,000th time. And America's birthday should not be about Trump. He isn't the star, the country is. Okay, now, by the way, if Trump isn't the star, it's going to be what, pop artists? And so I just chimed in with this, right? The MAGA movement was started based on those rallies, right? I mean, think about it. I mean, how did we, if you're a Trump supporter, how did you first really start to, pay attention to Trump and what he was saying, which was, let's have more patriotism, let's drain the swamp, the silent majority, the forgotten man and woman, what have you. It was the rallies, right? The rallies are what started that, over 10 years ago. Ish. Yeah, no, over 10 years ago. And I think that it would be fitting to have one, right? Because I think that Trump does a really good job at hyping people up in those rallies, right? But conversely, okay, without these rallies that Matt thinks are just all about Trump, where would we be right now? Right? What would the America 250 celebration look like? Let's say if Hillary Clinton had won, or if Kamala Harris had won. It would look like a freaking pride parade, right? You'd have Madonna and Sam Smith up there performing some satanic ritual, and we wouldn't have this, hyped up America themed celebration. Now, this is all stemming from the these cowards who are canceling or backing out. Martina McBride, the Commodores, Young MC, and Bret Michaels. I don't know about you, but I'm fine with all of that. Like, I'm fine with none of those people playing. I get what Matt's saying is just get other artists to do it. Just don't come in with a 2-hour Trump speech. I wouldn't say 2 hours. I mean, not 250 minutes, not 2 hours, not 1,776. Well, actually, 1,776 seconds would be pretty good. But you understand what I'm saying. It's like Matt saying, all right, yeah, no. If you're going to have the America 250 celebration, make it more like a celebration instead of a speech. I can understand that. However, to kind of like trash Trump and say like, oh, Trump's speeches are just all about himself. He does talk about himself a lot, but he also talks about the achievements, the accomplishments. He rallies the base. He gets people invigorated. And I think that having him on would be a good idea. All right. So that's just me. I mean, I'm a Trump supporter, so I'm sure that people who are, saying there are people who view the last Trump term a couple of different ways, right? I think that a lot of people, a lot of the detractors, a lot of the woke right, a lot of the people that are sort of like turning on Trump in Congress and on social media are thinking, well, Trump's gone in 2.5 years, so we might as well, starting to forget about him now, right? Like, let's just move on from Trump now. I don't think you're going to see that, buddy. Like, I think that Trump's going to be very involved after he's gone. I think that he's still going to be the leader of the MAGA movement. He's still going to be endorsing people. He's still going to be doing speeches. He's still going to be doing interviews. I don't think that Trump is just going to go away like Biden, right? Biden went bye-bye, and we don't see him no more. Obama did the same, a very similar thing after his, after he left office. He was still a little involved in the political space. But I don't think that this is going to be the end of Trump's political career either. I think he might, get involved with something, maybe as an advisor to the following, to his successor. So I don't know. I just think trying to bury him right away is not going to work out the way you think it is. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. You guys tell me your thoughts. I think that the America 250 celebration should be mostly, artists and speakers. I think there should be speakers that come out. I think it should be kind of like a mixture between a rally and a concert. I don't think having it just be a concert would be good, and I don't think having it just be a rally would be good. I think having it be a huge celebration that has a mixture of both would be really good. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But it's going to be on June 26th, as in Flow Rider on July 2nd, on 2nd of July. Trump said he is now considering replacing the event with a Make America Great Again rally. See, now I wouldn't this is where I would say no. Don't do just a rally. Freedom 250, the group behind the Great American State Fair concert series, was launched last year by Trump administration, and the president appointed its CEO. But he says the event is nonpartisan. The White House is partnering with Freedom 250 on the fair, part of a series of once-in-a-generation events for America's momentous anniversary. Freedom 250 announced on Saturday that the president will headline the fair's opening ceremony. All right, as the visionary behind the Great State Fair, blah, blah, blah. Martina McBride. Isn't Martina McBride a leftist? So it's like the leftist or left-leaning or moderate, whatever. They're the ones canceling. If they want to cancel, screw. See you later. I think the Hip Hop Patriot should perform. I agree. Let's get Jeremy out there. Trump signed the executive order last year. Yeah, so essentially there's, 3 or 4 people are canceling. You can replace them. I mean, I don't know who's going to be even doing it. I'm assuming Kid Rock. I haven't even looked. I'm just assuming Kid Rock will be there. We'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, for some reason, Matt Walsh, I like Matt Walsh. I want to like Matt Walsh. I don't want to keep on saying, Matt, you're stupid, but he just says so many stupid things. I think his documentary, What is a Woman, is probably one of the greatest documentaries that was ever filmed. And it actually exposed this massive, psychosis with these people. I think that what he's done for the conservative movement is good. I just think that he has a lot of bad takes. It's just shh. Stop being so freaking contrarian on everything. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know if Matt's just trying to piss people off because he's a troll. But if you're going to do that, do it the way that you used to do it, which is aim it at the frickin' left. I mean, yeah, there's infighting that should happen, and there's infighting that should not happen. Okay, like infighting that should not happen is like Aaron Wexler and the other guy, freaking blanking on his name. They're fighting about, are you a paid agent? Like, no, that neither of you are. And fighting like this, where Matt Walsh is just like trying to drive a wedge between Trump supporters and whatever the hell he is, don't think that's helpful either. Infighting that absolutely 100% needs to happen is the people who are working on behalf of foreign adversaries. Okay, like that's the thing. Like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, all these people who are basically just these anti-Israel people. It's never been about Israel, right? I just want to read you guys this message I got this morning. I have some contacts that are, very in the know in certain things, right? This is a friend of mine who's worked in cybersecurity, and, he apparently saw one of my posts, and he goes, yeah, it's nice to see people are starting to realize the PRC, People's Republic of China, is behind a lot of the media influence and protest. It's been their playbook since 2014 with the help of Russia. All right, now this is a guy who knows things, okay, like works with three-letter agencies, not somebody that I take like, lightly. It's not some anonymous, like I know things. No. I know he knows things. I've seen his badge. But there's this is another thing he sent me. This might be something that you should research. I don't think that he realizes I already have. He probably doesn't watch my show, but we've already covered most of the things that he's talking about here. But here's the questions he said for you. And this is something I think that you should research, right? So this is from an Intel guy who very high security clearance, or had, I think he's moved into the private sector, but what is China's likely plan for 2027? What key role did Venezuela and Iran play for China? How has our actions affected China? Do China and Russia have equities there? Did the playbook for China make the U.S. have to make these moves to disrupt their 2027 plan and their 5-year plan set for 2030? These are things that we've been talking about, right? What does Venezuela and Iran have to do with China? And what does Venezuela, Iran, and Cuba have to do with China? All right? Well, it's simple. It's like you have Iran, who's attacking America's greatest ally, or America's greatest ally in the Middle East, right? Let's call it because America's greatest ally, I don't know. Japan has a good, stake there. But let's say America's number one ally, greatest ally in the Middle East is Israel, right? You have Iran attacking our ally. If we don't have our ally, what happens, right? We get weaker. We have that foothold in the Middle East that is holding off the death to America crowd. What about Cuba? Cuba's 90 miles off the coast of Florida. They have Hezbollah training centers there, right? Why would that be bad? It's like we had the Cuban Missile Crisis. I mean, why? Why not do that again? What about Venezuela? Venezuela, not only were they flooding a bunch of drugs into the country, but they were also exporting a lot of oil to China, right? Now our actions, another question that he asked, right? What has our actions done to affect Cuba and China and Russia and their equities in that region? Trump has arrested Maduro. He's got Cuba basically signaling that they're starting to get in line. Venezuela, he's got the Iran war, and it seems like Trump's moves, his quote, all his interventionist stuff, is really hurting one entity above all, because it all trickles back up to China. And if you guys understand that, then we'd be in great shape. Let me see if I can pull this threat pyramid thing that I had somebody make. It's definitely not. It's not 1,000%, the way I would like to see it, but it's a good starting point. But I made a post. Not a post. I was on here talking about how I want one of my followers to make me a threat pyramid. Make me an image, right? So let's pull that up. Okay, we got it's under downloads. All right, let's go here. And I want you guys to take a good look at this because I think that I don't think we're talking about this enough. I think that we need to really hammer this home. Okay, bring that up. Okay, threat pyramid. Okay. Take a look at this, and this is what we've been talking about. You have China at the top, right? The influence and enablement flows upward. You have the proxies. The proxies are Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, Russia. I don't know if Russia is necessarily a proxy or a partner. I would say they're more of a partner. And then you have like these NGOs, the Neville Singham, the Code Pink, the Answer Coalition. You know the protests that you're seeing, well, quote, protests, riots that you're seeing in New Jersey right now? The New Jersey riots that are outside of the ICE detention facilities, this is what I'm talking about. This is funded by China. It's chaos theory, right? What they want is they want to create a bunch of chaos in America. They want to see another Alex Preddy or Renee Good so that they can then show American people that they should be against ICE enforcing immigration policy, right? Because if you have another Renee Good or another Alex Preddy, right? If you have, and I'm telling you, I'm 100% sure about this. I would bet my life on this, that the people organizing these protests, they want a dead body on their own side. They want to sacrifice a pawn on their own side. I would bet my life on it. Because why? Who would benefit the most from another dead body? Who would benefit the most from another Alex Preddy or Renee Good? The left, right? Think about it. It worked in Minnesota, right? They got rid of Kristi Noem. They pulled back. They sort of shut it down. Even Trump was like, yeah, it's not good optics when you see an ICE agent shooting an American citizen. Does that mean that the ICE agent was wrong? No. It means that the media already has these stories queued up. They already have this article written. They're just going to insert the name of whoever got shot because they already have it ready. If there is another dead body, if there's another crazy woke radical leftist who assaults an ICE agent and the ICE agent defends themselves and fires back, they're going to say it's murder. No matter what, before, like, even if it's not, because it's not. It's the officers defending themselves. But they're going to say it's murder, and then they're going to pump that message into every American news network. Boom, 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 right? And Fox News will tell the truth, and Newsmax will tell the truth, but CNN, MSNBC, and others, they're all going to be saying that officer murdered that woman or man, and that's an American citizen, and all they were doing was protesting, et cetera, et cetera. And then subconsciously, they're going to try to put it in the minds of the moderates and the people that aren't, hardcore anti-immigration, that maybe we should just not deport people. Maybe ICE really is taking things a little too far. And it's just like what they did with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was like, I mean, that's crazy. I don't want to see Americans get killed. Okay, I don't want to see American domestic terrorists attacking our ICE agents. But I'm telling you, that's the plan. They just want a dead body. It's so wild how people don't see it. And you know who doesn't see it the most? The person who's going to get shot. Because the organizers, the people that are at the top, right, and even the people who are at the middle management, they all know. They're all in on the plan, right? They get these crazy people like Jolly Good Ginger and these other low IQ, just emotionally unstable morons to go outside of these facilities and they start to, F you, and they throw things and they light trash on fire and they're breaking the law. They want those people to get shot, right? Those people are not smart. Those people are very dumb and they're just very indoctrinated, emotional foot soldiers. They're pawns, and you can sacrifice them if you're one of these, Soros types or Neville Singham type NGO people who just don't care. Did you send this? Did you get the pyramid I sent you? Somebody in the chat. Did you get the pyramid? I think I only got 2 pyramids. One was okay. The other, this one was a little better. I want it to be broken down even further, so I'm going to draw it up. But yeah, this is the way it works, right? At the very bottom, right, you have the people that are just the indoctrinators, okay? The indoctrinators, the people, the propagandists. You have Podcastistan. This is Hassan Piker, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes. This is all the people that are saying, you know, the government's bad and stuff like that. And anti-American messaging. You have the universities and social media universities, right? Because what the social media university, what I mean by that is, you know, like you have influencers and creators on TikTok and on even on X who are basically the new professors, right? They're teaching your kids, right? So you have Podcastistan, then you have the actual universities where people are actually sending their kids to school to learn about anti-American values. And it all flows up, right? It all flows up because all this, everybody's working underneath China. China and Russia, but China mostly. Right. And it's just so that they can destroy America from within. It's the destruction of the West. It's the long game that Yuri Bezmenov was talking about in 40 years ago. Right. In 1985, Yuri Bezmenov was talking about this. He's saying you indoctrinate 2 generations and you destroy America from within. And now we're seeing what that looks like. It's not Israel. It's not the Jews. It's China. It's Russia. It's our enemy. It's the people who actually are our enemies, like blatantly. Like the people that we have to, not the Jews, right? Like freaking people are morons, man. They really are. People are so stupid. And it frustrates me because I'm not. All right. Where were we here? Yeah, we were Matt Walsh. I don't know how we went off on that long tangent, but we did. Oh yeah, that was off of one story, 30 minutes. Good. Israel seizes castle in Lebanon as it expands ground offensive. You know, there's a lot of people that are really upset about this, right? The Israeli military has captured the strategic site of the Beaufort Castle in southern Lebanon, in what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described as a decisive shift in its offensive against Hezbollah. All right. Now, there are a bunch of morons on the internet who are very, very mad about this because there's an Israeli flag over it. Yeah. I'm not going to go too deep into this story. But Jesus, Jew. Okay? Jesus is and was a Jew. He's Jewish. He's literally rabbi. Jesus, rabbi. Okay? If you're more upset about Jews controlling that castle than Muslims, you haven't read the Bible. Now, Jesus was not Christian, right? I don't know. And I mean, I'd be fine with Christians running that because we're all, you know, we all pray to a Jew. But no, Israel took it away from the frickin' Muslims. It's like, yeah, good. Anybody who thinks that's bad, no, you should have left it with the Muslims, right? Well, they respect Jesus. They don't respect Jesus. They don't think that he's God. I mean, neither do Jews, but I mean, in a different way. Muslims think Jesus is a babysitter, essentially. They think that he's a prophet that, you know, ushers children into the promised land or some shit like that. It's wild how the anti-Israel, anti-Jew psyop has gotten so many Christians to forget that biblically we are way more aligned with Jews than we are with Muslims. I'm not saying that you shouldn't disagree with the way that Jews view Jesus. I'm not saying that. I do. I think that he's God, or I believe, I know he's God. I have faith that he is God. And Jews don't believe that, and that's fine, because in the Bible it says eventually they will. But I mean, if really we're going, no, like better. It's better for Hezbollah to be in charge of it. You people are insane. You're insane. We're going to a bad place when you guys are rooting for the goat effing inbred terrorists to be in charge of holy sites, as opposed to those Jews. Yes, somebody in the chat. When Jesus was alive, there was no Islam. Islam wasn't created until 600 years after Jesus. Ironically, Christianity wasn't created until 300 years after Jesus. So all these Christ people who are like, yeah, it's like, dude, for 300 years, it was Jews after Jesus. First Christians, Jews, right? Jesus apostles, Jews. Jesus, Jews, right? Everybody does not understand. But this is why when you say Judeo-Christian values, they get upset. They go like, Judeo-Christian, take away the Judeo. Why? It means Old Testament. It doesn't mean Jews. It means Old Testament, moron. Right? Judeo-Christian values means you have values based on Old and New Testament. You put them together, you have a book called the Bible. Judeo-Christian. Christ means follower of. Jesus wasn't a follower of Jesus. Jesus was Jesus, a Jew. We, Christians, follow Jew. Well, by the way, the Old Testament's most of the Bible. The New Testament's what, like, I don't know, 35% or something like that? It's like, these people are so dumb, man. I'm so, like, I have fun. Calling them dumb, but it is getting repetitive. When are they going to get it? A lot of BBC on here. Okay, hundreds arrested. Yeah, look, I'm going to summarize this story with, hold on. I have to count. 8 words. Okay, I had to, it's been a weird, it's Monday. I'm going to summarize this story with 8 words, right? Import the third world, become the third world, right? Import the third world, become the third world, okay? We are what you're seeing in Paris. Here, let's take a look, right? Paris is just not, look, the multiculturalism is a lie. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Not race. I didn't say race. I said culture. Multiculturalism is a lie. Importing a bunch of different cultures into a Western civilization which should have Judeo-Christian values, right, is going to lead to this. And like Paris just got, like, this was over a soccer game. Like, this was over a soccer game. Like, they destroyed the entire city of Paris because of soccer. Like, yeah, no, import the third world, become the third world, right? That's why we should have strong immigration policy in America, because we can see what it looks like when the left implements their policy of multiculturalism, okay? It's not going to work out well. We don't need to cover anything else of this story. We don't need to read it. Just look at the images. It's crazy. Yeah, look at this. Just nice. Is this a mostly peaceful protest? Is that what's going on here? Mostly peaceful? Yeah. Crazy. U.S. says it struck Iranian radar sites. Yeah, U.S. is still bombing Iran because Iran's they're not getting it. This doesn't work out for you. Somebody in the chat, hey Misfit, I saw on the ABC channel a plea for the people to contact DirecTV, who is dropping the news. MSM is having, I don't know what that means. Carl Benji, to tell you the truth, I really don't want to hear Trump talk for an hour at the U.S. Freedom Festival either. I don't know about an hour. I don't know about an hour. I think that he should definitely, I would say under an hour. I would say 40 minutes, 30 minutes of him speaking would be good, because he is the leader of the MAGA movement, and the MAGA movement is why we have a Freedom 250 instead of a Pride Parade. Yeah, but You know, if you want to watch a concert, that's fine. You want to watch a concert, you can watch a concert. I want to watch a patriotic, you know, show where we see not just a concert. I want to see the entertainers, the performers, and I think that we should have speakers. I think that you should have speakers at the America 250 thing, talking about America. I don't think Trump would talk about himself the whole time. All right. French Navy seizes Russia-linked oil tanker in the Atlantic. Oh, finally, something that's not the BBC. This is from The Guardian, okay? Suspected Russian oil tanker has been detained in France has announced, or detained in the Atlantic, France has announced. Latest seizure aimed at combating Moscow's shadow fleet of vessels contravening international sanctions, okay? According to French authorities, the vessel was on its way from Murmansk in northwest Russia when it was seized. Macron said the French Navy boarded an oil tanker subject to international sanctions. He posted videos he said was of the seizure, which showed commandos. Okay, yeah, so France and Russia, they're still having... This is a photo from the, quote, seizure. And all of this, you know, the Russia and China, if we keep the pressure on them and keep on straining their energy by way of, you know, obviously going after Iran, but Iran, Venezuela, and sanctions, I think that they're going to start feeling the pressure, and I think that we're going to be looking very good down the road. So I think that while it does affect us as well, right, because global markets, I think that the temporary strain that's put on the U.S. would be worth it long term. I don't know if Trump and the administration are messaging that properly. I think that they should. I think that they should come out and say, look, here's what's going on. I also think that, you know, the more you talk about the plan, the more you're giving your enemies the plan, and the more they have time to, or the more they can circumvent the plan. And I'm not saying trust the plan. I'm saying if you come out and it's like that scene from like the end of Avengers, right? Where it's like Tony Stark is like, hey, tell me this is it. And Doctor Strange is like, if I tell you, then it won't happen, right? It's like I'm not saying keep Americans in the dark. I'm saying keep it close to the vest. If your plan is to strangle the economy of our enemies over a short 3 to 6 month period, which means that our oil and our gas prices will go up temporarily during that time. I don't think you can come out and tell the American people, hey guys, this is exactly what we're doing. But you should come out and say something along the lines of, look, guys, we're doing this for a very specific purpose. Bear with me, hang in there. And I don't think they messaged that enough. I know they have messaged it. I just don't think they messaged it enough. Eli jumps in the chat, reminding everybody to share, like this, and share this. All right, hit the button somewhere down here, somewhere over here. Hit that button. If I do this, I think a bubble pops up. No, it's not doing it. OBS is broken. But hit the like button, share, and get this out there. All right. Well, I think I was saving this story for last because it's great. It's just so great, right? Senate candidate Graham Plattner sent explicit texts to multiple women while married, wife says. You know who the left's really mad at right now? Not Plattner. They're not mad at their candidate who has a Nazi tattoo and is a philanderer. No, they're mad at the person who released the story, right? Like, actually, let's go here. This is so funny. It's so funny because the left is literally just like, they're just so awful. They are the worst. Like they really are the worst. They're the absolute worst people. Let me see here. Let's see. I know I can find it because I just saw it recently. But here we go. Is there anything? They're blaming the Jews. They're blaming the Jews. Look at this. Okay. So here's the breaking news. Amy Gertner, the wife of Graham Plattner, told his campaign in 2025 about sexual messages he sent to other women. And look at this dumbass. The two authors of this article are women journalists who often write about anti-Semitism. It's well known Plattner's anti-war and anti-Israel. This is a kind of hit piece attacking a person's integrity that has already been tried on many men, right? So the authors are Jewish, and the person who leaked it, they're bad. It's like, dude, this thing is, it's not a hit piece. It's confirmed. It's like, that's like saying the Swalwell thing was like, the Swalwell thing kind of was a hit piece. So I'm like, she goes, have you looked up these two journalists? And my response is, what does that have to do with Plattner cheating on his wife? I want you to take this trip with me into the mind of a crazy person. Okay. It's media propaganda. How is it propaganda if it's true? Propaganda by omission. Nothing's omitted. It's true. Right? So this woman is mad that the people who wrote the story, and by the way, there are so many stories from so many publications written, and they weren't all about Jews. The people who wrote this particular story, they're pro-Israel or they write about anti-Semitism. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? And they're like, it's propaganda. How is it propaganda if it's literally true? And look, this is the part that's underlined here. This is confirmed by his campaign, confirmed by his wife. This is not a made-up story. This is not something that, would be considered propaganda. It's more of like an October surprise, where it's definitely, a story that somebody wanted out there to hurt Plattner, but that's not propaganda. Propaganda is a different thing. Propaganda is lies. These are not lies. This is true. This happened. So Plattner, the Democratic candidate looking to unseat Susan Collins, and she sucks, by the way, but better than a Democrat. Any Republican is better than a Democrat, period, except for Thomas Massey, who's a Democrat, right? Most Republicans, I will rephrase, most Republicans are better than Democrats. Plattner's campaign, look at Plattner's campaign confirmed the text exchanges. This is not propaganda. These are real. This really happened. They just don't think that we should care. They think you should care if Ken Paxton maybe cheated, but not Graham Plattner. Nope, not Graham Plattner, because he's a Democrat. It's different. It's capital D different. Gertner discovered the messages months after the couple married. She made the private revelation before Plattner held his campaign rally and was supported by Senator Bernie Sanders. But the aide decided the texts were a private matter for the couple, the campaign said. Perfectly fine. All right. Gertner said, I confided deeply personal details about my marriage to somebody I considered a friend. Look, here's why it's not a private matter, by the way. Okay? It's not a private matter, right? When you're an elected leader, when you're an elected representative, you have Oppo Research, right? Where the campaign, like the people, like if I was to run, this is why I wouldn't run. I wouldn't run. Not because I have anything to hide, because the shit that I would say publicly is just not, it's not something that you should want in a public leader. No, but you have Oppo Research, right? Oppo Research that is done by obviously the opposition, and it's done by the campaign, where they will find out what skeletons are in your closet. Okay. Now, if your own side finds out that you have some skeletons in your closet, right? What they should do is they should say, you probably shouldn't run, right? Like, that's what they should do. They should go, you probably shouldn't run, because if this comes out, it's very bad. Also, maybe, like, people care. People care. Voters care. Voters care about infidelity. They care about cheaters, right? Now, look, what about Trump? I know. Yeah, we care. We care. You have to be a damn good, you have to outweigh that a lot, right? With your policy, with everything. You have to be, the people, but everybody knew about Trump, right? We knew about him cheating on his previous spouse, and we voted for it. We were informed. They didn't hide it from us, right? Like, it was exposed decades ago, right? And we just didn't care. This is something that the campaign tried to hide from the public, and now that it's coming out, the campaign is thinking that the real bad actor is the person who told the American people the truth. No, it's not your business when you're running for office. When you're running for office, your voters have a right to know if you're a dishonest person. The number one thing that you can do, the person who you should have the trust that should have the most trust in you is your significant other. If you will break the trust of your significant other, why wouldn't you break the trust of your voters? That's why it matters, right? That's why it matters. And it's not like it's something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and now you've been in a committed relationship for decades with Melania. No, it's like this happened like a year and a half, 2 years ago. This happened very recently. It was a dozen women, and you were just recently married. So if you're lying to get into the pants of whatever lady, right, you will lie to get into the pants of your voters. That's all I'm saying. It matters. It does. It's situational. It doesn't mean that every cheater is the same. It means this guy should have told, he should have either dropped out, or he should have came out and been like, while he was running, there might be a story that comes out, and I just wanted to tell you guys from me personally to you first. I was having some issues, and we are in marriage counseling, and we're working them out. If you tell everybody, this wouldn't have been a problem. But no, it had to get leaked. It had to get leaked, and now you have the, the left. They're trying to, dismiss it and say it's no big deal. It is. It's a big deal. Like Kyle, whatever the hell his name is, Secular Talk guy. It was like, he said something. I'm not going to try to find it because we're running out of time. That Kyle Secular Talk guy, he's like a crazy, like totally crazy, woke leftist anti-Trumper. He was like, Graham Plattner could sext my mom and I'd still vote for him. And I'm like, that's because you're in a cult. Like, this isn't the flex that you think it is. When you guys, or like the whataboutism, be like, sorry, nope, you guys have cheaters. It's like, dude, you have a guy with a Nazi tattoo who cheats on his wife, and you say that we need to vote for him so we can stop Trump because Trump is a philandering Nazi. That's insane talk right there. That's like saying, like, our Nazis are better than yours. It's like, first of all, ours isn't even a Nazi. Yours is an actual Nazi. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, you guys don't have any, the left doesn't have any integrity. Like, what was the other guy? Jay Jones, who was literally texting about having his political opponent's kids killed. They voted in that guy. That guy's now a leader of the Democrat Party. Okay. All right. So, like, can we do this? Can we just get this over with? Like, let's get the boogaloo on, because you people are definitely never going to stop. You're just going to get further and further and further and more radical. So, I don't know. All right, we got 10 minutes left. We're about to jump into the No Fatties section. Let's do a quick ad here. We have our number one and our only sponsor, Patriot Pouch. That's fine. I don't really try to get sponsors. I like doing the show, but I mean, I'm not opposed to them. I'm just saying it's not something like where I'm running around going, "Can you sponsor me?" All right, but this show is brought to you by our favorite sponsor, Patriot Pouch, the nicotine-like ritual and buzz you expect, powered by better ingredients, American values with fewer downsides, made in the USA. You can jump on over here to patriotpouchusa.com and get your Sovereign sample 4-pack with all 4 flavors, or you can grab my favorite flavor, orange. You glad you're an American, right? I got my Patriot pouches right here. I love them, and they are a Nixodine pouch. They are not nicotine pouches. Nixodine is a cleaner compound that binds to the same receptors as nicotine, but delivers a better and cleaner effect. I was taking these things for 2 weeks. I had no idea they weren't nicotine. And so anybody who's wondering if it's going to be a different type of sensation, no. You try these out, you will not know the difference. Now, the enhanced moisture pouches, 6 milligrams of nicotine per pouch, and the same buzz you expect is on patriotpouchusa.com, and make sure you use code MISFIT10 at checkout so they know I sent you, and you do get 10% off with that code. All right, thank you, Patriot Pouch. Now, no fatties. Jay Jones, thank you, Sean. Yeah, Sean's in the chat. Jay Jones, that piece of No fatties. What is this about? Well, let's listen to this fatty. This guy's so fat. He seems very upset about it. This fat leftist is very upset. Let's watch. Fatty. All right.
Now, according to one defense official, it says this sends a very clear
Hold on, that's very low. I know that's very low. Hold on. Let's get that. Let's kick that up a notch. We're gonna kick that up. Where is it? Screen capture. Let's go to 10. I think we'll do it. All right, let's try this again. One more time.
Now, according to one defense
Wow, that's
official,
still low. That's still low. All right. Third time's a charm. All right, here we go. And scene.
Now, according
There we
to
go.
one defense official, it says this sends a very clear message to any attendees who want to come to this event, who are interested in attending this event. Quote, no fatties. Another defense official said senior Pentagon leaders are signaling their preference for military members who will look good on camera. And that person said again, basically no fat soldiers would be admitted to this event. Aaron.
Okay, now hear me out.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Donald Trump is not technically in the military, but he is commander-in-chief. So, does that mean he's not going to be allowed to go to this UFC event because he does not meet the standards that they are currently requiring?
I'm sorry, I can't hear this guy over how fat he is. All right, look, here's the story. All right, now Caitlin Collins pulls receipts on Scott Jennings, claiming there is literally a memo. There's literally a memo. Caitlin Collins fact-checked her MAGA-friendly colleague after he disputed a report that the Defense Department will have a weight and height requirement for military members attending Donald Trump's White House UFC event. All right. Now, there's literally a memo, apparently, saying that the ticket recipients are required to meet the Department of War's waist-to-height ratio standard of less than 0.55, as well as all service-specific physical fitness test requirements. That means the troops would have a maximum 37-inch waist for the average man, and my waist is 34 inches, by the way. So that's fine. Like I'm a little stocky, right? 37 is a big waist. And 35-inch waist for the average woman. That's a fat woman. I mean, to be completely honest, you'd have to be Samoan for that to not be fat as a woman. She said, I mean, there's a memo on it. Okay. It's a memo. I hope there is. All right. Let's see here. There was, that's the story we just read. Oh, there was one more. I thought I had. Let's see. Let's go grab it. Let's go find it. Right here. Oh yeah. Well, this is the one that that's why I didn't put it in there, because it's the same one that we were just looking at. Okay. So Dr. Rhonda Patrick, this isn't her real profile. Her other profile has like 1 million followers, but this is the one where I found a clip. Dan Bongino just had a clip of Rhonda Patrick on, right? And talking about visceral fat. Now, as you know, this is Maha Monday, right? We talk about the healthy ways of living and, you know, like, and what have you. Look, I don't want a fat military. I don't care if the commander-in-chief, the civilian position, a 78-year-old man, has a body mass index a little bit higher. I'm talking about active duty service members. Here's the other reason why I think it's probably a good idea to have a no fatties memo, right? You should have a no fatties memo, because the America 250 celebration is going to be viewed by our enemies, okay? The America 250 celebration is going to be watched by the enemies of the U.S. Now, if I was to see a celebration in China, right, and I saw a bunch of big fat fatties, right, celebrating China's whatever birthday, I'd feel pretty confident about our position, right? And I think that it's a good idea that we should have, you know, like strong, slim-waisted, big, burly military men, not a bunch of fat people at the America 250 celebration, because I want them to look at our, you know, birthday party and go, I don't want to mess with those guys. That's why I think it's a good thing. But because it's Maha Monday, we have 2 minutes left. Let's play this clip from Rhonda Patrick, and then we're going to send you over to Sean.
It's not only having this acute effect on like your energy levels, right? Yes, it's an energy sink because it's activating the immune system. It's also linked to cancer. And this has been shown. So people that have high amounts of visceral fat are 44% more likely to have a variety of different types of cancer, like the main ones, you know, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, liver cancer. It goes on and on. And that is because, and even when waist circumference is considered, so even after correcting for waist circumference, the visceral fat itself increases cancer incidence. And, you know, that's obviously human studies that have linked that, but there have been animal studies that have mechanistically looked at that now and said, okay, well, what happens when we have an animal with visceral fat? Well, it turns out that the inflammatory molecules, and they're making quite a bit of them, they're actually transforming normal cells into cancer cells. They're actually causing normal cells to become cancerous. They're damaging the cells. So that is, you know, over time, when you get enough damage, eventually you're going to get it in a part of the cell that's going to lead to an oncogenic mutation. So yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially what she's saying is not only no fatties, because, you know, we don't want to show China that we're, you know, just a bunch of sloppy bitches, but also maybe just send Americans a message, right? Send all of us a message. Hey, you know, like, we want a healthy nation, because a healthy nation is a strong nation. I think it's a good thing. Anyway, Sean Farish is coming up next with Ungoverned. You guys enjoy that. I am going to work, which is going to suck because it feels very Monday today. But I will see you all tomorrow for TDS Tuesday, and that's going to be a fun one. All right, boys and girls, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
A partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro?
Yeah, you're just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not.
join.
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
That just we are the only society on Earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority,